Assalamu alaikum, Nazreen. Nice to meet you and glad to have you back. And today, what we'll be discussing is focusing on Afghanistan this time. And I've got some new things there coming up, and I will share them with you. But before we get into Afghanistan in particular, I want to review the geopolitical situation around Pakistan. We just saw some time ago a war between, it was a 10-day war between Israel, America on one side, and Iran, and it ended up in a ceasefire. Now, that may come back again, and we have to watch that, okay? Now, the second part, which we are also have to watch, is the India. India is arming at an alarming rate. They have already scheduled $50 billion worth of equipment, which is going to come around March and April. So they will be ready, as they call it, their Sindhu 2.0. And I think they'll be looking for a rematch because they have been globally humiliated to almost geopolitical non-entity. So they will be looking to get themselves geopolitically recognized and to take a revenge on us. The last time this happened was 65, when we defeated them. They came back in 71 and really hit us in the underbelly in Bangladesh, East Pakistan. This time we humiliated them globally, and they're going to be coming back with a vengeance. Now, the Afghan issue is getting very, very tense. What they have there is the Afghan Taliban is a Pashtun outfit, which are mostly Deobandis, and Deoband headquarters, religious headquarters, is in Delhi, 30 kilometers out of there. And when Mr. Muttaqi traveled, he was taken to the place of intense knowledge called Darul Uloom. Dunya ka jo ilm hai wo wahan hai. So, and they seem to have an affinity for Pakistan's enemies. Part of the reason is this Durand line. So far, we have been on the defensive with the Durand line, and they have been on the offensive. If Pakistan stops recognizing and says, okay, we don't recognize it either, what is the status of Afghanistan? Is it a province of Pakistan, or is it a district? Or it is a series of districts? I don't know. But let me get back to where we were on this other issue. Okay. There are reports coming in, and I had to compile them from different areas to get a comprehensive story for you to share with you guys. Okay. And here I'd like to say, those of you who are coming new, kindly subscribe and press the bell icon. And if you like what I've said, kindly share it also. Appreciate it. I'm trying to get the news out and analysis out without a lot of beating around the bush. So here we go. What it says basically, it's saying, looks like the Taliban are imploding. The two main factions in there are the Kandahari group coming from Kandahar, which is very, very closely tied to Mr. Akhundzada, who is the spiritual head and who runs it with a tight fist. And the other one is the Haqqani group, which is run by Sirajuddin Haqqani, and they don't really like his tight grip on the whole thing. So there have been deadly clashes within the Taliban, and they're both part of the regime, the deadly clashes between the Taliban regime, and looks like those clashes that go far, the regime may face a collapse. Okay. And that's what the DGISPR also said. This government is a minority government, and it is not representative And this is the government which is the problem, not the Afghan people. And you have to be very careful here. We are trying to be placating the Afghans, but remember one thing, even the non-Pashtun Afghans, because of our history prior to when the Americans were there, we ended up opposing them and supporting our Pashtun brothers. So there is a backdrop of enmity. But however, those guys are close to Turkey. So there may be a way Turkey has a role to play there. Okay. Now, what they say here is a very strong internal crisis for the Taliban. I mean, you've got a third faction sitting there also, and that is called the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan. Okay? Those guys are the ones coming across the border with Afghanis. Now, all Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan are not all Pakistanis. They're probably overwhelmingly Afghans who don't buy into the Durand line. All right. There has been open warfare between the two powerful Kandahar-based factions led by Defence Minister Mullah Yaqoob and the Haqqani Network stronghold in the east. Haqqanis are more towards where the Pakistan side is. Multiple reports from inside the country confirmed armed confrontations have broken out in 4 provinces. I mean, it's not an isolated thing. In 4 provinces, they have clashed, killed, fired on each other. Now, which are those provinces? It includes Paktika, Khost, Logar and Wardak. Very strong tribal loyalties there. Where the fighters loyal to Sirajuddin Haqqani have clashed with regular Taliban units answering to Mullah Yaqoob. Now, why did they do that? The violence began after the Kandahari commanders, extremely holy guys, attempted to seize control of lucrative narcotics warehouses so they could get rich, and which are controlled by the Haqqani operatives, which immediately triggered retaliation. Now, these guys who believe in Sharia and they're going to attack Pakistan, respond with all the Sharia stuff, they're actually fighting over narcotics and drugs, something highly un-Islamic. So fundamentally, you got to recognize these guys are no more than low-born criminals running around with beards and pretending to be very pious. They are not. They're very deadly people. They know how to fight, and they are coming for us also. All right. The infighting, as it happens in Afghans, treachery is part of the game. So there is significant defections. So whoever bids the highest, the guy goes sits with that guy. Other guy bids higher, goes on the other side. Somebody is losing, everybody jumps ships, goes on the other side. Dozens of mid-level commanders from both sides have either switched allegiance or declared neutrality, while several district centers have fallen into limbo with no clear chain of command. So since it looks like the Kandahari group is pushing onto the territory of the Haqqani group. In eastern Kandahar, well, there's another state actor, the Islamic State. This one is called the Islamic State of Khorasan in eastern Kandahar. They've exploited the chaos to launch the largest coordinated assault in months. While these two guys are going at it for each other over drugs, they've decided, and they're overrunning multiple checkpoints, and they have freed hundreds of prisoners from Taliban jails. Now, the main two guys, characters are Taliban and the Kandahari group, Akhundzada group, led by Mullah Yaqoob, and the other one, Sirajuddin group. They are fighting among themselves. This is the Taliban. Then there is the other Taliban who are focusing on Pakistan and coming over here and killing people. They've got the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, who are overwhelmingly Afghan now, than the Afghan nationals, who don't believe in the Durand line also. Then the fourth one coming in there is the Islamic State of Khorasan. Now, these guys specialize in hitting Russia, Central Asian states, China, and anybody else they can find. And if they find some Americans or Goras, they go after them too. In eastern Nangarhar, the Islamic State of Khorasan has exploited the chaos to launch the largest coordinated assault, and they have taken over many checkpoints, and they liberated a lot of prisoners from Taliban jails. So it looks like they're growing in strength. Now, on top of that, there's a fifth group. These are the Tajiks. I mean, you remember a long time ago, the Sher of Panjshir, Ahmad Shah Massoud, his descendants. These guys are called the resistance group, Northern Resistance Group. It comes with the old name like Rashid Dostum and those guys, and they come together. They're mostly Tajik, Uzbek, and Turkic origins. Turkey has a lot of influence with these guys. Also, they were called the former Northern Alliance during the American days. Have they reactivated themselves in Panjshir and Baglan? Panjshir is their home, Baglan is next to it. And they're claiming to have direct offered the weapons from disaffected Taliban officers seeking to weaken the rival faction. So it looks like people are ganging up on the Kandahar Mullah Yaqoob crowd. Okay. Some of the eyewitnesses, when they saw all that, described seeing the looting as armed groups raid government opium stockpiles worth millions of dollars and further fueling the breakdown of the order. So the government apparently, Taliban government, has opium stockpiles. Hafim, in our terms, stockpiles. I wonder for what? I'm sure it's not for local consumption. I think it's export. So you're looking at these people exporting opium, okay, and making money off it. The Western intelligence sources, when they're looking at all this, kind of look at the current trajectory mirrors the 1990s, okay, civil war. That basically paved the way for the first Taliban victory. Now, I don't know which part of victory this is going to be happening, but it seems to be moving in a direction where the central government may not have any power left. Okay. Now let's go. In the neighboring Tajikistan, the TDP, forget that, they've got another faction here which is going after, in Tajikistan, in killing Chinese miners and attacked the Shambe, blamed on militants operating from Afghan soil. So they're not happy with this. They shot a whole bunch of people, 2 guardsmen in states. Now they're shooting up Chinese engineers over here, and they're coming into Pakistan and shooting up RFC people. There's something really, really wrong. And I'll discuss what the Ummah is doing in all this. Okay. The Taliban spokesman in Badakhshan acknowledged the incident but provided no further details. China has emerged as one of the few countries remaining economic ties with the Taliban government with several mining infrastructure contracts. Now, talking about the Ummah, I mean, Saudis, Qatar, Iran, Turkey, they're trying to say peace, peace, peace. All right, okay. Now we have what he calls the Turkish foreign minister, who was supposed to be coming to Pakistan, decided to land in Tehran and for urgent consultations for a peace process with his Iranian counterpart, especially regarding the deteriorating Kabul-Islamabad ties. Now, if we can get Iran and Turkey and Tajikistan on one page with us, these guys have no place to go. When this war factions, on top of that, Pakistan's operation cleanup going in there, you're going to find some people running away from all that violence. But no country is going to accept them, which creates a very unique situation. And we have to be watched. Also, Saudi Arabia got into the act. Islam and Kabul resumed Saudi-hosted talks in Riyadh to ease border tensions, but both of them kept quiet, except finally the Taliban opened their mouth about it. Pakistan said nothing. Now, who were these characters who went to Saudi Arabia? Well, it was Anis Haqqani, Deputy Interior Minister, Rahmatullah Najib, Foreign Ministry spokesman Abdul Qadir Balkhi, traveled to Riyadh last week with Pakistani officials, according to local media outlets. Saudi had recently positioned a mediator facilitated part of the tensions between Kabul and that talks failed. Saudi Arabia could not believe the attitude of the Afghan Taliban. So another one bites the dust. Now there's one last remaining, and I think sooner or later the Turkish foreign minister with the Turkish head of intelligence come to Pakistan, and if that doesn't move, we may have to move. Okay. Now that's not the end of it. Tajikistan says, in addition to the above attack, they've attacked 2 more attacks on Tajikistan and killed 2 more Chinese engineers. And 3 other people have also been killed, so the total of 5 and another 5 injured. And their president taken note of it, so I think the tolerance is getting low for these guys. The president of Tajikistan, Mr. Emomali Rahman, ordered an urgent review of the border security, meaning get the forces over there. Their foreign ministry confirmed 3 employees of the Shaheen 5M gold mining company were killed when armed attackers opened fire from across the border in Khatloon province. Authorities have described the assault as a work of criminal groups operating from inside Afghanistan. So no love lost here. In addition to that, 2 additional Chinese nationals were attacked in the Tajikistan Shadak region, an incident allegedly involving Taliban border personnel. Wow. Now the border personnel are getting involved. Deployed from other districts. Taliban are yet to comment on the allegations. Now, these are not minor issues. As the Taliban said, this is occurring all the way across, killing people across the board, including Chinese, and they're going across the border to kill people. Not normal. It's a serious issue. And these characters don't understand that. Now, Tehran, Ankara and Tehran stepping up mediation. I think they're welcome to try. But it may not have much to do with it. Anyway. Now, I'd like to recap some of the stuff here. We will have a window of tackling this Taliban virus between now and March. If we wait too long, we will be facing war on 2 fronts. India from this side and these guys from this side. We both know fighting 2 wars at a time is very difficult and dangerous. So whatever we have to do between now and March. If we do it, a little better for us. Now, the second thing to remember is the Straits of Hormuz. Now, I've mentioned it a couple of times, and people say, okay, what is all this? Well, let me say this. Israel-Iran war occurs. Iran decides to play the card. Straits of Hormuz. Okay, Straits of Hormuz closed. Well, what happens to us? Well, it means first thing when you go to the gas station, the prices are going to go up sky high. So you may be able to fill up your car, a Suzuki or a tank for about 10,000 rupees. You may be looking at 50,000, maybe up to 1 lakh. And if it remains closed, a week later, you may not have any oil left. So you deciding you want to go to on a debut, sorry, no patrol, you can't go. You may want to see, oh, okay, now let's see, what happened to my gas? There's no gas coming from Qatar. So first, gas will be given to government officials, and the rest of us will have no gas. Oh, no problem. Let's go get some LPG. I'm sorry, LPG is also imported. So what? No cooking gas? All right. And then your wife or your mom says, get out there and collect some dry wood so we can cook something at home. So guys, that's what happens. The Straits of Hormuz gets closed. What happens to China? Its manufacturing industry comes to a halt. 40% of the global manufacturing comes to a screeching halt. They need 14 million barrels of oil per day from this area coming up to them. Well, the good news is Indians will be out of oil too. So will we. Saudis, we signed a defense pact with them. They'll say, hey, open these up. Why? Because there's nobody else there. I mean, poor little Qatar with about a few thousand people, they can go across the Arabian Gulf, Gulf of Arabian Gulf and try to, they'll get clobbered. So the only force which can do that is Pakistan. Now, we will be put in multiple places. China pressure for us to intervene on the Gulf of Hormuz, American pressure, global pressure, all of Europe, do it, and the Chinese pressure. Now, and our own people saying, we don't want to starve. Come on, open it up. So we will probably have to do it. And people will disagree with me. But all I can say is this. We don't have to wait long. Just wait for a few months. We will find out what's going to be happening. All right? And if you don't handle the Taliban before that, then you know what's going to be happening by April. Right after we do our fasting of Ramadan, we may be facing our friends from across the border with Modi leading the charge. Anyway, now I think I've spoken up a lot, but I'd like you to also bring to the forefront our host. Welcome, Bano. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. What about you?
I am fine. Just I have the Afghan map with all the different
All about
groups. Yeah, showing that.
So starting up with the regional mediation push you talked about, with Turkey and Iran intensifying mediation between Afghanistan and Pakistan, are we witnessing a genuine diplomatic breakthrough or just another temporary pressure tactics?
You got to know what Pakistan is asking for, which is not unreasonable. What they're saying is no more attacks, hand over these characters, they're Pakistani citizens otherwise, through the checkpost. Demilitarized zone inside Afghanistan so that there's no chance of any infiltration across the border. Okay? With those kind of conditions, it's a no-brainer. Will the Afghans, Taliban agree on it or not? And the chances are these guys are not logical thinkers. So my projection is they will not accept anything like that because they're going to be told by India, don't worry, we will help you out. And sure enough, I mean, good old Rajnath Singh, 4 feet 5 inches, has been saying that we will attack. Get ready, all of you. India will come and attack. The Sindhu too is just on pause. We are coming right now. I think that we're just going to get the Taliban killed, nothing else. If we wait, then let's see what happens. I have no projections for that. If it ends up around March after Ramadan, New Eid al-Fitr, if you start something at that time, I mean, you're fighting on two fronts. It's not a good idea. But I don't think there's anything in this. We are wasting time. But we have to, because we need Turkey support, Iranian support in what we are going to be doing here. And I think the
Definitely.
Chinese, the Tajik also want the same thing. So
Exactly. Talking about the rising internal target killings, with the latest target killing of a police official, suggest militant networks remain deeply embedded. How serious is Pakistan's internal security vulnerability right now?
there is a degradation of intelligence. So these guys are succeeding. Part of the reason is, I think, lack of public support in the Pashtun areas closer to the border. I think they're more scared of the Taliban than they are of the army. So that's part of it. And the targeting killing will go so that they are trying to tell police people not to come to duty. So if the police doesn't, it's going to come to the army directly. And that's what they want. However, we'll have to fight it out by taking the fight to them. Sitting across the border and defending is not a good idea. Even the United States, being a superpower, lost on that strategy in Vietnam. Oh, they bombed across the border. Oh yeah, B-52s. I mean, they rain bomb day and night and day and night. Oh, we got this, we got that, we got the row. At the end of the day, they also went across it, targeted strikes across the border. No, no, no. You have to get in there, get these characters out of their holes, and finish them up. You can't sit back and take it. If you do, we are going to have a lot of casualties. Because the
All
Taliban
right.
have said they're going to come for DHA, they're going to come for Fauji fertilizer, they're going to come for Fauji food, they're going to come saying anything Fauji. And then when they don't get them, where they come? Like the last guy did. He came in and blasted himself out in the High Court, Islamabad High Court. So these guys have got no morals. Yours.
Hmm. All right. So let's talk about the need for a new regional security framework. Do the recent attacks and diplomatic failures indicate the need for a broader regional security alliance involving Iran, Turkey, and Central Asian states?
I'd like to bring you back to one particular map which occurred about 2 3 months ago. This was headed by CENTCOM. That alliance is already here. And there's also talk of Americans canceling the Doha Accord with the Taliban, where they can start their bombing of Afghanistan again. And I'm sure they would love to. I mean, Trump said Bagram Air Base, I want, everybody knows he doesn't want it, but he said bad things happen. Now, this alliance is already there under CENTCOM. And the last meeting they had was in Islamabad. Now, we got to bring the rest of the characters on board, which means Turkey and Iran on board, or at least stay neutral. Because when we go from here, people are going to run towards Iran and Turkey, and you don't want these characters to get safe haven there. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks a lot for deep diving into shifting dynamics of a region. And it was really interesting. So, all yours. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Now, at the end, I'd like to recap.
Sure.
We have to handle these guys, Taliban. They are not representative of the Afghan people. They only represent a minority to some extent of Pashtuns in Afghanistan, as you can see in this map, where the Pashtun speaking are. These guys are basically not attuned with the world. They are really a pariah. And after staying with Pakistan for 40 years, we fed them, brought them up. They've turned against us. Now, that amount of treachery, that amount of ingratefulness, I don't think we can take forward anymore. We need to handle them. If we postpone handling them, then we will be looking at a two-front war with India on one side and these characters on the other side. Now, I'd like to bring some good news. Chinese Y-20s are landing in Pakistan, and I think they're bringing in HQ-19s. Better than American THAAD. HQ-29 satellite killers. So that's good. I also have very good information that the Chinese have said immediately start with J-20s, starting after that squadron a month of J-35s. So anybody telling you anything else, we are also preparing. And then not to forget, Russian Putin is coming to visit India in December. And he is going to give them the S-500 and whatnot, more S-400s. So we'll have to really get into this thing. This is going to be a mega trade-off between the advanced Chinese technologies versus Russian and Western technology. And Israeli. Israelis are shipping $20 billion worth of electronic warfare equipment to India, and they'll be done by about April. So with that, I will say goodbye till we meet another 2 days. And Sharbano, pleasure always having you with us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.